Speaking of tech, Elon Musk just announced that he plans to build his own Utopia in Austin, Texas. Just gets a laugh on the premise there. With affordable housing for his employees. I mean, he is a visionary. He does. I mean, we didn't see electric cars or landable rockets or, you know, living on Mars. I mean, this guy thinks big. What are your thoughts? By the way, if I was going to build Utopia, all respect to Austin, I wouldn't put it there. I mean, that's just me. And I like Austin. I like Austin a lot. Sure. I keep it weird every time I go.
All right, picture this. The blinding stage lights are on, the audience is buzzing, and it's another no-holds-barred night on Real Time with Bill Maher. And tonight, oh, it's a wild one. Elon Musk? Yeah, that Elon Musk just dropped his latest bombshell. He wants to build a utopia for his employees down in Austin, Texas. We're talking cheap housing, innovation hubs, the whole futuristic fantasy package. Basically, Elon's pitching Silicon Valley too, but make it affordable, allegedly. But hold up, because Bill Maher and his panel of heavyweight thinkers aren't just clapping and nodding. Nodding. They're shredding this dream, live on stage. Is Musk really a visionary paving the road to humanity's future? Or is this just another billionaire fever dream, spiraling into ego-fueled chaos? This episode goes deep, like philosophy class at 2 a.m. deep, into the brutal reality of trying to build a perfect society in a world that's anything but perfect. Buckle up, because between the sarcasm, the truth bombs, and the serious reality checks, it's one of those nights where ambition meets reality, and reality hits back hard.
And I'm not sure that he's thought hard enough about how a utopia would actually work beyond the kind of Disney World, beautiful picture that it would be in the beginning. I don't trust him to do this. I think I'd rather see a bunch of people put their heads together. But it's an interesting.
There's no such thing as utopia. How about that?
Well, there's that
don't ever use the word utopia or think you can create a utopia under it. What a fool's errand that
Everybody would be
Talk
happy
about an
there.
over-promising con man. I'm going to build a...
Yeah. Also, like, utopia is a personal concept, and my personal concept isn't the same as Elon's, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. And so, like, my first thought was like, well, I definitely will not be living there.
All right, so Elon Musk is back at it. And this time, he's not just launching rockets or selling flamethrowers. Nope. He's trying to build an actual utopian town for his employees in Austin, Texas. Picture it. Affordable housing, cutting-edge infrastructure, innovation at every corner. Sounds futuristic, right? Maybe even a little inspiring. Well, not so fast. Because over on Real Time with Bill Maher, the panel is ripping into this idea like it's an overcooked steak. They're asking the big questions Musk probably didn't put in the sales pitch. Can you really build a perfect society without running straight into some serious real-world problems? See, here's the thing. Utopias aren't one-size-fits-all. They're basically shaped by whoever's in charge. So what Musk might think is paradise could end up feeling more like a billionaire's pet project for the people stuck living there. And yet, issues like governance, diversity, sustainability, all that messy human stuff are already huge red flags. Musk's dream town sounds shiny on paper, but making it work in reality, that's a whole different mission to Mars.
What impact, if any, can we expect the collapse of Silicon Valley Bank, oh yes, to have on our financial system? If you didn't see, I saw this has just happened in a Silicon Valley Bank, one of the biggest banks in Silicon Valley, obviously they're tech, right? That's what they finance. I think the biggest bank failure since the 2008 crash. I guess we should have seen it coming because there's been a lot of layoffs and Bitcoin. Is this what this bank is, Bitcoin?
So Silicon Valley Bank's this 40-year-old bank from the Valley. It was designed and funded originally to make sure that startups, which have a tough time getting money, could get some money. If this were called the Lehigh Valley Bank, we would not really be paying that much attention to it. It's the Silicon Valley Bank part that's sexy, but the truth is it's a small bank. So it's got about 150 billion in capital. JP Morgan has 3 trillion. The only reason to be concerned about it is the knock-on effects of confidence, but It's a small bank that got caught short. It's the oldest story in the world.
But are we bailing out Bitcoin losers?
No, it's not.
Okay.
This is not about Bitcoin.
All right.
This is about a shortfall where they misaligned their bond spending with the amount coming in. They lost depositor confidence. It happened overnight. It's possible this gets contained.
Is it absolutely central to the startup industry, or is it just a bank that some startups?
It used to be 40 years ago. It is
but
no
now,
longer
no
central.
longer, right?
No.
Yeah.
Silicon Valley Bank? Yeah, the bank that basically babysat half of the tech startup world just collapsed. And while it's not exactly another 2008 meltdown, it's still a massive wake-up call about how fragile today's financial system really is. Here's the short version. SFBB was living large, stacking up long-term bonds like they were Pokemon cards. But when interest rates shot up, boom, those bonds tanked in value. So when startups started pulling out their cash all at once, SFBB straight up didn't have the money to cover it. Classic bank panic chaos, the whole movie scene. Just missing someone yelling, sell everything. But it gets worse. CB wasn't just any old bank. They were laser focused on startups and tech, industries that are already roller coaster rides, even when the economy's chill. So when the vibe shifted from we're innovating to we're bleeding cash, that hyper concentration of risk turned into a giant flashing we're screwed sign. Bottom line? Savvy's fall isn't just about bad financial choices. It's a brutal reminder that even the smart money can get caught sleeping at the wheel. And for mid-sized banks trying to juggle innovation and stability, it's a masterclass in what not to do.
That idea that everybody's supposed to go to college, everybody is supposed to get a good, solid high school education. That's another rant. But then you're supposed to go out and ply a trade unless you want to do the rather rarefied thing of go to college. That's one way that the old days were better than now. It's mission creep that everybody goes to college. And it's not true that if you don't go to college, you are going to be selling pencils on the street. There are many perfectly legitimate careers. We just need to learn how to talk about it more.
Right.
The other thing that
Could not agree more.
there's another phenomenon that I think is fascinating, which is kids are learning how to do stuff professionally from YouTube.
That's a good point.
And so if you are a coder, more often than not, you're watching a 90-minute video
Wow.
on how to use CSS,
Wow.
and it's moving at your own pace, frequently much faster than the education system can possibly get you there.
Go to school.
One example from this weekend, the Daniels, the guys who directed Everything Everywhere All at Once, they went to film school, and they are the ones who say, don't ever go to film school. Watch YouTube
Oh,
and
totally.
learn it. And
Well, that's for sure. That's for sure true about the arts.
About the arts, for sure.
You don't need school for the arts. In fact, they
MFA.
probably make it work.
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
I mean,
it's
either you
ridiculous.
have it or you don't. I mean,
So-
it's just not something you can learn in
There's a guy
school.
with a PhD and a guy with an MA.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
but still,
yeah, no,
don't be
of
like
course,
us.
don't
Right.
be like
But-
us.
okay,
Yeah.
so you can learn that on YouTube. But what about, you mentioned Shakespeare. Now, were you, let me read into that. Were you saying Shakespeare is past his prime?
I was
And
being hyperbolic, but
Do you still like Shakespeare?
I think Shakespeare is a swell guy, but you should learn. You should learn about him in high school. All
Right.
of that should be packed in. Much more should be packed into the high school education. Maybe even have a 13th grade. Then, if you're going to go into finance, go work in a bank. You can work in a bank when you're 19. That's the
Right.
way I would like it to be. Shakespeare's great, but the 4 years where your mind is being expanded, expand your mind when you're a teenager, then go get a job. There's nothing abnormal about
Oh, they're expanding their minds when they're
In many ways.
All right, let's get real. College enrollment in America is crashing, and honestly, it's not hard to see why. For decades, college was sold to us like some golden ticket. Get a degree, get a career, live the dream. But now, people are waking up and asking the obvious question, is it really worth it? I mean, think about it. The price tag is insane. You're signing up for 4 years, tens of thousands in debt. And for what? A piece of paper that doesn't even guarantee a job. Meanwhile, real-world skills, coding, digital marketing, trades. You can pick them up faster, cheaper, and without selling your soul to Sally Mae. And don't even get me started on how bloated the whole system's gotten. You're living in a dorm, taking random classes you'll never use, all while paying interest on student loans you didn't even fully understand when you signed up. It's like higher education forgot its original mission, training people for careers, and turned it into some weird, overpriced coming-of-age ritual for everyone, even if it doesn't make sense for their goals. College isn't dead, but the old mindset that everyone needs a 4-year degree, it's instead, that's crumbling fast. And honestly, it's about time. Hey, thanks so much for hanging out with us today. If you dug this video and you want more real talk about the world we live in, smash that like button, share it with your crew, and don't forget to hit subscribe. Turn on that notification bell so you never miss a drop. We seriously appreciate your time. You're the reason we do this, and we'll catch you in the next one. Stay sharp out there.